Shalom, Shalom and welcome. Welcome to the White Robes Family Channel. This series is a series entitled Final Exodus Framework. My brothers and sisters, there are many who are experiencing an awakening, being drawn by the Almighty Creator, the Almighty Father Yahuah, to Yahusha Mashyach, as it is written in John 6:44. This series, Final Exodus Framework, is designed to contribute towards a core foundation in this journey, something that will be necessary to be rooted and seated on the path that takes you into maturity, into this relationship with the Almighty Father. In this second installment, the first was just the introduction. This second installment, I want to bring your attention to the inward man. The inward man and the outward man. And I want to say to you, Yashar'al, have you ever been around someone that says, I should have followed my first mind? I should have followed my first conscience. Something told me to do this. Someone or something made me do that. I submit to you, O Yashar'al, as COVID-19, as other diseases collectively come together to fulfill end-time prophecies, as we witness civil unrest, economic instabilities, disruptions across the planet in many ways, shape, and form. We see the rumors and the exact actions of wars. While all of the things that are unfolding before us, O Yashar'al, may cause some to worry and be fearful, I submit to you, we are not to fear what man can do to us. But I want you to know that it is important that our beginnings, that drawing from the Almighty Father, starts within. And let me pause for a minute to say this, O Yashar'al. The views expressed in this series do not necessarily reflect the owners, its management, and or shareholders of this media platform. With that out the way, let me continue. The very thing that stirs within is our inward man, and we will grow to know the relationship of the inward man versus the outward man. So many people want to jump and grow and set up partners in ways to fit their agendas. And as end times become intense, Yashar'al, we will discover the need to identify that inward man, to know that battle that the inward man has with the flesh when it talks about the flesh warring against the spirit. And we will learn how to better manage our earthen vessels. We will learn the power of how to swiftly get under the blood of the Lamb and be renewed day by day, moment by moment. So, my brothers and sisters, this house of Yahuah is indeed our earthen vessel, our bodies. The one you see in the mirror each day, if you look in the mirror, or the one you take a selfie of. That is the house of Yahuah. And inside, my brothers and sisters, is the occupants. And I say occupants plural because our spirit, our inward man, is inside this outward shell. And our inward man is joined with the Almighty Father Yahuah in Yahusha's name. It is through Yahusha Mashyach that we are in relationship. And by acknowledging the name Yahusha, we acknowledge the plan of the Almighty Father. Let's get into that inward man, my brothers and sisters. You see, oftentimes the Spirit of Yahuah will guide us step by step, moment by moment. We will receive instructions from him. And so often, many times, we may not even identify as him until after the fact. But I submit to you, it is the desire of the Almighty Father for us to walk according to belief in discerning his voice, and not always looking at hindsight saying, I would have, I should have, and woe is me. Let us not seek to use excuses, but grow in set apartness. The inward man. I want to present something to you, my brothers and sisters. Here we can see in Jeremiah 31:33 says, For this is the covenant I shall make with the house of Yashar'al after those days, declares Yahuah. I shall put my Torah, this means instructions. It does not mean just the 5 books of Mashyach. Many have been deceived to think that Torah is just that. And so many just refer to the Torah as just that. And because it sounds tough, it sounds new, it sounds set apart, so many people have fallen for the mistake of thinking Torah is just the 5 books of Mashyach, or Moses. Torah is the instructions that the Almighty Father gave. Sure, the 10 Commandments, and there were ordinances and laws written by Mashyach, but his instructions stretches far beyond just the 5 books. What do you think the rest of the scriptures are and represent, my brothers and sisters? It's time to ask questions and seek answers. But let me finish reading this. I shall put my Torah in their inward parts and write it on their hearts, and I shall be their Almighty One, and they shall be my people. Yashar'al, my brothers and sisters, do you think he's talking about our lungs, our hearts, our liver, the things inside the flesh? Or is he talking about that inward man, our spirit? That we receive his instructions, spirit to spirit, his almighty instruction through Yahusha Mashyach, which we must state to acknowledge the process in which we learn and grow in worship in obedience to the Almighty Father. Come with me, O Yashar'al, to 2 Corinthians 4:16. It reads, Therefore we do not lose heart, but even if our outward man is perishing, the inward man is being renewed day by day. Yashar'al, I want you to understand, end times are ramping up. Extreme humbling times are before us. The strength to endure will come in understanding and knowing what must and will be done. Let us not lose heart. Even the set apart, the most of set apart among Yashar'al could face physical death, could be in the midst of destruction and death, could be in the midst of plagues and pandemics, could suffer from such. But the difference between one who is set apart, one who is a child of the Most High, we know that the flesh war against the spirit, and we know and we will learn how to accept that these earthen bodies will return to the dust as it is written. And knowing that, in spite of our pains and suffering, we will yet seek to worship and obey he who is the Almighty One. For we know day by day we are renewed, we are strengthened, we recognize, and we are beginning to recognize his flowing among us and with us. Let me continue, my brothers and sisters. With the outward man, I want you to understand, Yashar'al, the outward man, that body that we have. Let me fix something here and make an adjustment. You know, Yashar'al, my brothers and sisters, the outward man. So many of us, my brothers and sisters, fail to recognize what is it that makes the outward man? What is it that puts us in a position to understand the outward man? Have we given it consideration? Let me share with you something, our brothers and sisters, regarding the outward man. I'm making some adjustments here, bear with me. You know, when we are born, we go through experiences. We go through experiences that lead to influencing us. Okay, I believe I'm done. My brothers and sisters, whether it be an older sibling, older brother or older sister, whether it be a mother or father, a mother and a father, or a grandparent or a guardian, there are a lot of things that influence us. Our schools, churches, civic organizations, political organizations, sports affiliations. There are many different things that influence our outward man. Why? I want you to know this and believe it. Our brain, that thing we have right here in our skull, processes things that we see and hear, things that we witness. We are influenced on many fronts and in many ways, my brothers and sisters. And this is what it means by the flesh warring against the spirit. How we are influenced, how we are raised, how we're conditioned, how we're programmed. Even in captivity, there are things we think are normal, which are not. There are things that are more reflective of a westernized culture, the results of colonization, the results of slavery, the results of the fruit of our disobedience that caused us to be in the state that we're in. All of these play a part in how we function. You can have one brother read something and another brother read the same thing and get something totally different that conflict. But when we're reading and we get something, if we both get the same, or the things that we get, if they're different, but they can lean and latch on to one another, this is demonstrating how the inward man has made it complete. Even to this day, when we listen and watch videos or listen to someone or walk and interact with people on our jobs, people process things differently and respond differently, or Yashar'al. This is the makeup of the outward man. But the outward man have a destination to return to the earth from which it came. Consider these words in Ecclesiastes 12:6-7, my brothers and sisters. Remember him before the silver cord is loose, or the golden bowl is broken, or the jar shattered at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the well. And the dust returns to the earth as it was, and the spirit returns to the Almighty One who gave it. I say to you, my brothers and sisters, this doesn't say that the spirit returns to heaven. Keep in mind, the Almighty Father Yahuah is everywhere at all times. He's not just in heaven, or what some would say, Shamanim, or Shamayim. He's everywhere. And if we study the scriptures, we'll discover when we exit these earthen vessels, we are put in a state of rest, a state of sleep, until resurrection day. Make no mistake, Yashar'al, this process, this thing in which I speak of, is real. And as we witness all of end time unfold, as we witness individuals face physical death, we will discover that the Almighty Father's plan is real, and that this outward man has its place. With that said, I'm not saying that to scare you, to worry you. I'm saying that to say, in spite of what is unfolding, in spite of what we're witnessing, let us continue to proclaim the almighty power and presence of the Almighty Father. Let us continue to proclaim the good news of the good, or Yashar'al. Let me take you to 1 Corinthians 15 chapter, 54th verse. It says here, and when this corruptible has put on incorruption, and this mortal has put on immortality, then shall come to be the word that has been written, death is swallowed up in overcoming. We will understand that these bodies are corruptible. They face an end, but our spirit is incorruptible. We will discover that these bodies are mortal, but our spirits represent immortality. For it is the inward man my brothers and sisters, that lives forever. And those who are a child of the Almighty Father, we will live with our sovereign, our King, Yahusha Mashyach. Let me continue, O Yashar'al. Romans 7th chapter, verse 22 through 25. If you read it, it speaks of how Shalum desires and delight in the instructions from the Almighty Father, according to his inward man, his spirit. He described, what he's describing here in the 7th chapter of Romans is a battle within. And he says, but I see another Torah in my members, battling against the words, the actions within his mind. He speaks of the battle that he's facing. My brothers and sisters, let me read it. For I delight in the Torah of the Almighty One according to the inward man, but I see another Torah in my members, battling against the Torah of my mind and bringing me into captivity to the Torah of sin, which is in my members. He's speaking about his brain, his psychological conditioning, his experiences, his way of seeing life as he is taught and exposed, battling against the spirit. He goes to say, wretched man that I am, who should deliver me from this body of death? Thanks to the Almighty One through Yahusha Messiah, our Master. So then with the mind, I myself truly serve the Torah of the Almighty One, but with the flesh, the Torah of sin. What we see occurring here, my brothers and sisters, is Shalum talking about how the inward man and outward man battling, but he give all praises. He gives thanks to the presence of the Almighty Father and learning how to follow his instructions. Yashar'al, O Yashar'al, the final Exodus framework, house and occupants, the house being our body, and collectively the individual bodies of the set-apart children, the awakening set-apart nation, is that house of Yahuah. And our inward minds, our inward spirit, that which lives forever, that which is housed within this body, together with others who are and possess an inward man. Together collectively, we are the house of Yahuah. Know the difference between inward and outward man. And you will find that in some instructions, when the Spirit of Yahuah is influencing us and moving us, you will find that step by step, walking in obedience, we'll look back and say, I've come away from the things I used to do. Step by step, we say, oh, it's been 2 years now since I've even had a desire to do this or that. Or it's been weeks, or it's been days. That was yesterday. I'm a new creature, and I feel energized. We will grow, O Yashar'al, to understand why this is important. Do you not know the difference between inward man and outward man? My brothers and sisters, if you don't, you will, we will. As end times ramp up, as we begin to seek and discover deliverance from the uncertain days ahead, we will recognize how our inward man will manage these outward bodies, this outward man. We will learn that there are no rewind buttons, there are no do-overs. We will learn the importance of how walking under the blood of the Lamb, being raised and energized and renewed by the set-apart Spirit of Yahuah in Yahusha's name, that there is not a need to focus on trying to find something that does not exist, such as a rewind button. Stay tuned, O Yashar'al. There is much to talk about, to present regarding the framework, the final Exodus framework, that includes all who will either be in the ranks of the final Exodus or those who will die for Yahusha's name or for varying other reasons. the set-apart children of Yashar'al, will acknowledge the workings of the Almighty Father Yahuah. Stay tuned, O Yashar'al. There is much more to come. I say to you, if you believe remotely that I'm providing information that contribute towards your strength, that draws you closer to Abba Yahuah, Father Yahuah, the Almighty One, through Yahusha Mashyach. If anything I say is confirmed to have life and come from the Almighty Father, my prayer is that he get all credit and esteem. My prayer is that my obedience is reflective of his guidance, his instructions, his directions, and that Yahusha HaMashiach is indeed lifted up. For it is indeed, as we see him lifted up, this is how we will be drawn together. And I tell you, there could be no final exodus with just one person. For this is not what the scriptures speak of. Soon and very soon, house and the occupants, we will witness a coming together like never imagined possible. Prepare, O Yashar'al. Behold, the hand of Yahuah is rising among us, and his children will be revealed. The chosen leaders, the chosen children, those who are worshipers of the Almighty Father, will become more and more visible with each passing day. And we will see the coming together, witnessing the attributes that will make us whole and bring unity. It will come in the wake of all the confusion that we see occurring, and all the calamities, and all the civil unrest, all the wars, all the pandemics. Out of all that is happening, we who are the children of Yahuah will understand what is happening, why, and how to respond. Begin discussing these matters with brothers and sisters. Begin talking about why it's important to identify the inward man and know that we have a responsibility to manage the outward man. On that note, Yashar'al, be encouraged. Our redemption, it is drawing near. Change is coming. And regardless of what's happening in the world, those whose eyes are being opened, whose ears are being opened, who believe in the Almighty Father, Yahuah, will find comfort in understanding what must and will be done. On that note, I say to you, Yashar'al, know the house and the occupants. Shalum.